Hi, all. Paul here again. We're talking about the PT455, and we're going to look at the graphic interface on the instrument. It's a fully graphic display with touchscreen. I'm using a VNC connection to the instrument, so I can actually operate it through my laptop here. When the instrument's normally running, it's going to show this display. In the main screen, you have all of the control loops configured on the instrument displayed with their current process values. But you can select each individual loop on this lower bar here to show the actual reading, set point, and output values of the particular loop. On this page, you can also change it into manual mode to control the output manually, or you can start the tune process or tuning process for that particular loop. The navigation button between each screen is this blue arrow, right and left arrow button. So if we press that, we go to what is the main navigation screen for the instrument. We were initially in the control display, but there are a number of other configuration, maintenance, and recipe, for example. If the instrument's restarted, you're going to have to log in through the users page, and the login procedure is pretty simple. Put in your username, password, acknowledge, and depending on the rights that you have as an individual user, you may have more or less access to any one of these particular features. The alarm screen is accessible through this green or red flashing button here. Let's put a condition in the instrument where it'll force an alarm. An unacknowledged alarm is a flashing red light up here in the upper right-hand corner. If I click on that, I can see that both my 590 and 760C interlock contacts are active, and those temperatures will have to come back before the alarm can be cleared, but I can acknowledge the alarms. The recipe screen allows you to edit or review any of the recipes that are stored in the instrument. This is based on the Marathon Monitor's recipe programming language, and it allows you to save really an endless amount of recipes, but the standard legacy amount is 200 recipes. Let's take a look at one. As you can see, it's the standard language. We have the H, small h, and C, for example, for temperature set point, temperature test, and carbon set point. And if I click on any one of these lines of the recipe, I have access to all of the commands available in the recipe language. I also have the data that I can enter for that particular command, and there are descriptions available for each line if I want to add a note here, for example. These are editable offline as well with our Windows application, and you can run these recipes and edit them in real time if necessary for like remaining time, or you want to alter the soak time. That's possible. Doesn't actually change the recorded or stored recipe, it just changes it while it's running. So the original specifications in this recipe are maintained. Go to Control. Control is running right now in standby mode. That means that it's just maintaining the set points that are configured in each loop at the moment. There is also a standby logging mode, which allows you to record the behavior of the furnace or anything that's been changed in a loop without actually starting a recipe. This is real handy for things like tuning, troubleshooting, trying to determine what may be going on in the furnace without actually changing any recipes or walking through a recipe. So I can start a standby logging by clicking on this little clapperboard here, and the screen's going to change to standby logging, and it's going to start to count here based on when I've started, and it'll just keep recording until I stop this mode. I can go into the chart button here and switch to the chart mode, which is basically a video recorder now, and define the individual things I want to look at in this particular case. Let's say temperature and millivolts on the sensor. I have a right and left y-axis, so if I have parameters that are scaled significantly different, I can select a separate axis for, say, the percent control versus the temperature, which is going to be like 0 to 2000. I can change the interval to in seconds down to, let's say, 5 seconds, and save this as the default screen that I want to look at. And it will start recording as this standby mode is maintained on the instrument. This is actually creating a record in the log. So if you're looking at the characteristics of the furnace, say overshoot as you're coming up to temperature, you can save that information on a log file and retrieve it and save it in a report if you're trying to do a survey for future reference.